to refresh my Trish Jenkins ministry author page. So I'm separating out the ministry stuff from my, there we are. I'm looking at my ministry page and I'm going to share that to my personal page. So that gets it an extra place. I'm separating out a little bit more the ministry stuff that I do from the business, just to make it a little bit clearer. So that's now shared to my timeline. So if you're there and you want to make a comment or anything like that, that would be great. So I will watch for them. I'll try and keep up and keep an eye on there. So here we are. If you're there, give me a hoy. All right. So where we got up to, the last thing I said at Helena Jones Correctional Centre is that I wished I could share some of my more colourful stories, but as these letters are read by the guards, I don't want to get anybody into trouble. So, oh, here's a good story. So one young woman at the prison had asked me for a particular favour. She was not, oh, I should have shut that door. The road gets busy at this time of day. All right. She'd asked me for a favour. She was not someone you messed with. And in italics here, I didn't put this in the letter, but I wrote, she had asked me to have a visitor bring some drugs in for her. And actually, this is one of the stories that I often tell when I'm speaking and ministering at churches or even other places too. It's quite funny. So I looked at her in surprise and said vehemently, oh, okay, so I didn't go into detail about her, but she was quite scary. She was very tall. She had bipolar disorder, schizophrenia. She was angry. She was about 6 foot, so she's much taller than me. And I found out after I got home what she was in for, and had I known that, I might not have been so bold. She'd put an axe through someone's head, her boyfriend's head. So it was pretty bad. All I knew was that she was kind of aggressive in a quiet kind of a way. But anyway, I was fascinated by her. And of course I wanted to talk to her about Jesus, didn't I? So that was all fun. Anyway, so yeah, she would, so she said, I'll tell you how the story went, which isn't how I wrote it here, but she said, so you've had a visit from your parents? And I said, yeah. And she said, can they bring me something? And I thought, I said to her, what, like a book? And she said, no, because mum and dad are pastors. I mean, what are they going to bring? And there's not a lot you can bring, not a lot you're allowed to bring. And in fact, when you get visitors, there's a vending machine and they're allowed to get soft drink and lollies out to have for your visit, but they can't give you stuff. Now, you can at Helena Jones though. So this is what happened back at the prison, and I'm recording this after I'd got to Helena Jones, telling you what had happened. Anyway, so she leans down, she says, some drugs. And in that split second, before I could even think about it, I was really surprised, and I said vehemently, there is no way in the world I would risk getting you into trouble. Yeah, that's what I said. I looked up and I basically said to this scary lady, no, I'm not going to bring you some drugs. Yeah, it was weird. And it was like the first half of the sentence, there's no way in the world. I didn't really know how I was going to answer the rest of it, and it just came out. So anyway, if you go to my ministry page, my website, trishjenkinsfaith.com, you'll actually, there's a video there of me telling that story. It's quite fun. All right. It's only a couple of minutes. It's just a sample video so that people can see what it's like when I preach. Right, okay. So she stared at me and then burst out laughing. She said, only you would be more concerned about me. She said, anyone else would say, you know, F off. I'm not risking my neck for you. Actually, I don't know that there would be too many people who would tell this lady to F off. I think they would just, you know what they would do, maybe try and say, oh, yeah, and then try and get out of it somehow. I don't know how that world works. I really don't. Okay, so even though I didn't lead her to the Lord while I knew her, we had a relationship of mutual respect. There was one time where she came to me and asked me to pray for her because she was going to court. And so I did, prayed for favour and that, you know, things would turn out well. And I'm not sure what happened. It was just an appearance. So it wasn't a sentencing, I don't think, because I didn't hear what happened after that. But she was still there after I came home. Okay, but I really actually grew to have a good friendship with her, which is kind of, was a bit special, yeah. And she even wrote to me a couple of times while I was at Helena Jones, which was really nice. Okay, all right. As you know, Amanda is a Christian now, and yeah, I know you're on Facebook there, Amanda. With you, well, that because Amanda's a different name that I gave her, and I'm just so glad you're doing really good. All right. I had advised her to read Matthew and keep going to the end. She reported back to me that she had completed the New Testament and would like to start at Genesis. And I felt convicted because I hadn't even read that much, though I had every intention of doing so. So there you go. I just said, I'll read Matthew, and she just started and kept going. So it was really good. Actually, we had found, I'm not sure exactly where we were, but at some, it was shortly after we got out to BWCC. It wasn't in the watch house, I don't think. You can correct me on that one if you watch this. There was a New Testament, and it was written, formatted this big, like a magazine. So it looked like a magazine cover, and on the inside it was all set out like a magazine, which was just great. I see there's a comment there. Thank you, Ashley. I was pretty impressed with myself, but it wasn't me, it was God. It really was that I thought of that, because I'm not that smart, really. Yeah, so it was a New Testament that was done up like a magazine. You know, with magazines, you just want to pick them up and you just want to flick through them. You just do. So that was really good. And so she read it all, which, yeah, as I said, it was more than I had done in that time. Okay, so Amanda told me she had been having difficulties with one of the girls. And I saw it myself when I noticed someone sneering behind her back. Finally, something I could tackle here. I took Amanda's hands and we prayed for the girl. We prayed for God's blessings on every area of her life, repented of anger and resentment, and for a good relationship. As we finished, I told Amanda, I believe God will do something in less than 24 hours. And I don't normally put timelines on God, but he'd been moving quickly for me lately, so why not? It's pretty bold. Well, less than 1 hour later, the girl found Amanda and apologised, asking if they could start fresh. Praise God. Huh. So, okay, I'll just do a little bit more. What have we got? 9:58. You know what? I'll save the rest of it for tomorrow, for when I do this again, because that's going to talk about when I went to see the nurse. You go everywhere you go, they give you a health check to start with, and so that was a whole interesting experience. So next time we will talk about that. Now, before I forget, I want to make sure that I put this up. So yes, I speak on resilience, courage, and leadership for both business and ministry. So I preach if you've got a church or a group you'd like me to speak to. I've been doing that. Ministered in London this week, which is great fun, over Zoom, and it's just good. Or if you have got a business group, I help leaders and teams to be more resilient and cope with change, and with their leadership as well. And I find that my prison stories, tend to be just a bit more compelling than just telling them how to do stuff. It's give them the context of the characters and so on that I meet, and it's great fun. So if that's you, get in touch with me, message me, and we'll talk about how I might be of help to your group. All right. So, all right, bless you heaps, and I will talk to you again soon. Bye.